Hello, my name is Paula. In 2018, I had a call that was the worst thing in my life. My husband passed away in a car accident. He was driving up a northern road, so yeah, I had the call on the early Saturday morning. There was a whole kind of trying to look for him and things like that. So yeah, so I had to instantly my life changed at that time. I have 4 kids, and he also had some children. So we all had to instantly change our life right at that moment. It was probably one of the hardest things that I had to do was to face life without him. It was I can't explain exactly the feeling of the loss, the great sorrow, the great pain that you feel when you lose someone so close to you. Well, anyone in that matter. You know, death is hard for everyone in any way, but for me, losing my partner in life, my person that I was supposed to do everything else with for the rest of our life. We were raising children, and we had many goals, many dreams. So for me, that had obviously changed. I had to really think about what my life was going to be like. So many changes so fast. And but I knew I had to live. I had to live, although sometimes we felt like we didn't want to ever live again. But we are First Nation people, so we were always strong on our culture and where we come from. So what we did, we learned a lot from where our culture and our traditions to deal with loss like this. But for me, I had to find another way for myself, and I was looking for something for me to deal with this. And I think a friend of mine recommended BFO to me. She said you should go here, and there's different groups for different people for different types of loss. And at first I was like, well, I don't really want to talk about it right now. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to really be with anybody else. I just want to deal with it in my own way, with who I'm used to being with. So I seen that they had different groups. So they had the monthly sharing group where everyone could come and you listen to a speaker and things like that. And I went right away, which was fun, different for me, because he passed in January, and I ended up going to the February one, which was probably really, I don't know, I just sat there, I sat down, I was okay there, I seen other people, but when the person started talking, I couldn't, I almost thought I couldn't stay there through the whole thing, because I was just like overcome with emotions, and tears were just flowing, and I was looking around thinking, is everybody feeling like this? Is everybody gonna cry? But I couldn't help it. Like, it was just like I was listening to the story. He was telling his story about his losing his wife, and I knew those feelings that he felt. And he talked about how he moved on, not moved on, but moved forward, and the things that went through his life. And I thought, will I ever get there, or will that ever happen to me? Because I felt at the time that I was hopeless, like I didn't know what to do. So I think that was really powerful for me to hear that, because I would have never done anything like that before. Like, we're very I guess quiet, you know, we do a lot of self-reflection rather than go outward. So for me to go there, even to be there, was a big step for me. But I knew I had to do something, and because I couldn't deal with these feelings myself, and I didn't want to put the pressure on my children or or anyone around me. So I just had to go somewhere where somebody could hear me and somebody could listen. So I went to that first group, and then I decided to do the loss of spouse group 6 months later, or however many, I can't remember the months, but I remember going there thinking, well, I didn't even know what I was going to learn or know, or I just knew I wanted to be around people that could understand. I wanted to deal with these feelings. I wanted to get them outward. I wanted to, I guess, live with this in a good way, if that's possible. But for me, I wanted to, because I had children. I had these little boys, that little ones that need to know about how to deal with their emotions, and if I couldn't, then I couldn't help them. So I had to find a way. And being at this group, I heard the people talking about the same thing, feeling the same thing, going through the same thing, and we shared tears, we shared stories, we shared memories. And although it was really hard, it was hopeful. It was something that really, helped me go through and get through the hardest time pretty much of my life. I know we all have different things that we go through, but for me, that was one of the biggest things. So I'm so grateful for all them and all the stories and all the sharing we did, and I'll take those with me for the rest of my life. Because for me, that was, a change in my life. Like, I knew I had to do things differently because I was alone. I was, without him. So we learned to do things together. And through that, I thought, it took me a little while, but after a while I thought, I'd like to help people. How do you become like a facilitator? So I thought, it took me like a year, I think, a year or so after, to become a facilitator. And I never ever thought I could, but it just so happened that I was able to become a facilitator. I took some training with BFO, and then I did a few groups just recently. So I'm on my way to doing that kind of work, which is good for me. I like being able to share my story too, because if you never know what other people are going through, and if you could just say one thing that's going to make them feel good, then that's what I want to do. So we have to talk, we have to learn from each other, and if that's going to help somebody, for me to say that, I did this, these are the things that helped me, maybe you should try it, that'll bring me, the good feelings, and help me in my life and my journey, to know that I could help others, live this life that they have to live now without their partner or their loss. So that's why I decided to stay with BFO, and I'm going to do some more facilitating however it all works out for the next little while. But yeah, I just, we have to help each other in this world, and grief brings so many different things, so we have to show each other that there's different ways. There's not only one way, and there's not only one journey. Everybody has their own journey. So if we all could just help each other, and BFO is a wonderful place to, for people to come together, because everybody from all kinds of backgrounds are helping each other, and that's amazing. So yeah, so that's my story with BFO.